4.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Pecah podcast. Mentol. How do you say mentol? Mentol, right? Mentol, okay. Pecah podcast with me, Muzakir Zainal, and your boy
Anwar, what's up?
you. All right. We are still in lockdown, partial or otherwise. It's still a lockdown. It's still a virusy type situation, and this time I'm thinking about all the stuff that people do during quarantine that they only do in quarantine. Have you been paying attention to this? Like, what are the stuff that you've been noticing other people keep doing? Like, I know like people been cooking more.
People been making dalgona coffee, and they've
the dalgona
been
coffee.
making
I can't believe we
bread.
didn't talk about the. Wait, what?
They've been making bread.
Yeah, bread, dalgona coffee. I understand the banana bread thing because bananas go bad. You make banana bread, and it's kind of an easy thing to bake. I imagine. I guess.
You have made one, so
I
don't
have, and
think
it's
you
a
have
whole
to
ordeal.
imagine.
I know, but like I imagine other people have an easier time because I have this whole thing on Instagram. I'm gonna post it up on one of my socials about how my particular weirdness about banana bread. But let's not talk about that. So but the dalgona coffee thing is just coffee people make at home, right? That's just frothy coffee that looks good on Instagram.
Yeah, that looks good for the camera. I look at the amount of work that's required to make even one serving of that, and I'm like, that's not worth it, and I won't engage.
But you're not the person who likes cooking anyway.
Yeah, I don't cook to relax. Cooking kind of stresses me out. Yeah.
Right. It's a thing you do for survival. You have some basic skill sets, you do it, and then
yes. And if I have a choice to not do it, I would not do it.
Right. I made this, like, I talked about this in the Prakash episode, but like there's this I did a little thread about cooking and how I was very confused about how people feel so stressed out about cooking. Do you agree with that idea, like, of people who are so stressed out that it's a surprise? Like, most people feel stressed out about cooking. Why is that?
I think for a lot of people, or I don't know about a lot of people. I know for myself that cooking, I'm not very good at it, satu, and by the time I finish cooking, it's about 2.5 hours afterwards, and the food's not even that great, so it doesn't feel like a worthwhile investment. Okay. So macam daripada spending all that time and money as well for the ingredients and stuff, and plus the time to cuci everything for food that is subpar at best, it feels like a wiser choice to just order it, especially when the opportunity, I guess, is right there. It's
right.
Kalau dia relatively cheap lah. Kalau if you order something off a Grab, mau tak mau 12 hingga 20 ringgit juga, which feels kind of steep to me. If I were forced into that situation, I would probably cook a little more. But macam sebelum ni, back in the before times, in the normie times, I just need to take the lift down to the ground floor, get a good meal for about 5 or 7 ringgit, and that's it. You're done. Half an hour, you're done.
So I cook in just half an hour. I think part of the thing is there's a lack of a knowledge base about the kind of cooking that can be quick and like delicious and easy.
Filling.
Maybe that's the thing. Because I in that thread I was talking about it, and then different people chime in with their different ideas and like thoughts about cooking, and I have after some considerable pensiveness, some time to have to pour some thoughts into this. I feel like a lot of there's a lot of weight to cooking. Like when you finish making a meal, it has to be good. Like that was the first thing you said. When you eat it, it's not good.
Yeah,
like,
it's
but
not good.
by what standard are you measuring that against though? You're measuring that standard against people who cook professionally or people who cook for years. So you know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
guess so. Yeah.
Itulah. So especially with
The
food.
I guess the normal quality of food that I am used to consuming,
Yeah.
it isn't up there.
It is what?
It isn't, you know,
The
up to the benchmark I've set for myself for, you know,
right.
acceptable food.
Okay, yeah, that's the other thing. Making food taste good is actually easy, but the way to do that is to make it really unhealthy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
I read that you wrote that as well, and I thought, macam, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, it's very true. There's the hyper palate thing. If you look at the ingredients of any like boxed or whatever pre-made stuff that you think is delicious, or any fast food, anything, chances are high quantities of salt, sugar,
Yeah,
and fat, especially sugar. Sugar is in little places you don't even think there's sugar, like fried chicken.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and bread. So
Mm.
so that kind of stuff. I think one, it's easy to make things taste good. You just have to, it just has to be unhealthy. So when people want to cook for themselves, they consciously want to be healthy, but then they're surprised that it's bad tasting. So
It's not as sugary as they're used
I
to.
wonder why this isn't as sugary. I only use a quarter of the sugar because I want it to be healthy.
Yeah,
Well,
because
duh.
I'm now in control of how much sugar I can put into it. I don't want to put too much.
Yeah, but then when I don't put as much as the recipe tells me, suddenly it doesn't taste good. Well, yeah, because most recipes, yeah, itulah. So that's the other thing. And I think that's one. The other thing is there is apa? There is a thing about cooking that I think isn't really taught, which is the pipeline for what to do with your ingredients. You go to the store, you buy ingredients, and then you go home, you prep the ingredients. After you prep, there's active time where you're actually cooking, and then there might be a passive time where you leave it on the heat for a while. And then after that, after you eat it, there's also how to manage the ingredients and what to do with the leftovers. So these things, if you don't have all of these knowledge bases, it's possible to be overwhelmed by a very simple recipe and have like a chunk of lengkuas in your fridge doing nothing for months because you wanted to make rendang one time and you failed. Yeah, I feel like a bunch of people have like a thing of like allspice in their kitchen where they bought it to do one kamyong recipe, and then the spice just lives there to do nothing now. You have these ingredients in your house?
Yes, yes. This is a thing that happens. Yes.
Kan? You yeah, like the cardamom pod is there, and whenever every time you cook, you reach for the ketchup, you reach for the salt, you reach for the pepper, and the cardamom is like, maybe this is the day. I was there that one precious moment. He used a bunch of me, but now, I mean, salt gets used a lot. But I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna get on the lineup soon. He's like that weird, not really pop punk band, but he's in the poster sometimes, and they're waiting to get called up. Does that make sense? I don't know what the music scene is like. Um,
I do not.
no, like, how do I say this? He's like the side character who wants to be the main character, but is always like in the background, but never gets in the main shot.
Uh huh.
Is this analogy working? Never mind. The the apa ni? I've been to your house and I look at your fridge and it's like distressing sometimes. There's so much empty space.
Yeah, there's a lot of empty space because
Yeah.
there's not much that we want to do, really.
I get that. I get it. My kitchen is like stocked. I don't know if you've seen it, but
I don't think I have.
You haven't opened the fridge. Yeah, you're not really into food at all that much. Like, if I'm into someone's house, the first thing I kind of want to do is check out their fridge. Is that creepy?
Interesting.
'Cause It's no, because it tells you a lot. What's in someone's fridge? Like if they have tauchu and if they use it a lot, if they have sambal kicap and what kind of sambal kicap it is, you can know that somebody in their life is either from Pahang or from Johor, you know. And yeah, you know, and from there you know whether or not they think TMJ is a cool guy.
Yeah,
'Cause-
but you gotta get to the point where you get invited to their house in the first place, and I feel
That's
like
easy. Just invite for Raya. Just go for Raya, and then you know.
and then
Ah,
just
no, it's
make
okay.
your
I'll
way
wash.
to
Yeah,
the
make you into the kitchen. Be nice to wash the plates, and then take a sneak peek into the fridge.
yeah.
No?
I don't know. I cannot think of a way for me personally to do that without being reprimanded by the tuan rumah and say macam, are you looking for something?
Oh
You know?
yeah, I understand that. Okay, you're right. You're right actually. Usually, if you go to the kitchen, the fridge will be kind of guarded. They don't really want to show you what's happening in the fridge because either yeah, right, because there might be like some stanky leftovers in there or like a failed something they make. And they're trying to eat it quietly in the dark so that you don't know they tried to make dalgona coffee and it became pancakes.
Yeah.
So like
And
yeah.
that was 3 months ago. Yeah.
yeah, that was 3 months ago, but it's there, but they forgot. But then there's a label on it that says Dalgon. They're trying to be funny about it and trying to laugh about their mistake, but they still feel bad inside. So they want to put it aside so they remember, but they don't want to hide it too much. So yeah, okay, I get it. So what I what I do is only do this if I'm invited to a place where I know my relationship with the tuan rumah is established and it's cool. So then we're like if we're in good standing, I'm okay. If I'm invited to a house where I only go there during Raya, then maybe I don't look into their fridge unless I ask politely, which might happen if I'm in the house for a long time. Yeah. So like if you're in the house and this kind of and the Raya is like the kind of host who likes to, hey, let's play games and let's watch a thing and let's hang out, and he says this is important, make yourself at home. This sentence is very important. Once they say make yourself at home, all bets are off, baby. Should I even wear clothes?
Off to the fridge.
Yeah, up to the fridge, and then just quietly, no, I'm just looking for water, and then I'll just examine the fridge and I judge them. And it's it's fun. It's a mentally stimulating and it's invigorating.
I don't know. So I grew up in a family that the fridge was pretty much full all the time. There was always stuff in the fridge, but
yeah, you have a big family.
6 people.
Yeah.
And there's usually always stuff in the fridge, but they're rarely macam edible stuff. They're ingredients.
What do you use the fridge for? Let's keep the soaps cold.
Okay.
What is it?
Printer cartridges. But they're
Cartridge batteries. Ni ada lagi ni letak sejuk ni boleh ada cas.
Yeah. Ironing boards pull down. But they're ingredients and stuff.
Sorry.
And for a long time growing up, I never really macam felt comfortable taking anything from out of the fridge without asking for my parents' permission.
Yeah, I'm same with that.
Yeah, so I always thought of stuff in the fridge and macam in the pantry as well, macam biscuit ke apa ke. It was always, it felt like these are not my food stuff, they are my parents' food stuff, and I have to ask permission to have access to them, or they need to serve it to me to signal macam, yes, now it is okay for you to eat this stuff.
It's something wasn't you just know. It's just you just know that in intuitively.
Yeah, that was how I kind of viewed the world. Nobody ever told me that, or maybe somebody did. Maybe
you saw one of your brothers kena marah.
Maybe as a child I tried to take cereal out of the pantry, and my mother would scold me and say macam, oh po, ni makan cereal tengah-tengah hari ni, or something like that.
Wow.
And then
which is a punishable offense, man. Makan cereal in lunchtime. That's how you know you've done your mom wrong. Menconteng arang di muka ni makan cereal.
Yes. What kind of a family are we?
Kan? Where did I go wrong? Inilah kau pergi KL belajar macam-macam.
Kan? Do you want us to go to hell? But I think early on that maybe that was a thing that happened, and I internalized that message of macam, oh, you're not supposed to take anything unless your mother or father explicitly tell you, here, have this, or else they're off limits and you can only eat them during the daytime in Ramadan when they're at work.
Right. In the family house, that's the same case with me, I think, but there's also stuff that is edible. Like, I imagine when you say not edible, it means there's ingredients in the fridge, but not ready made. Because there's no if in a household of 6 people, leftovers aren't a thing, I imagine.
Yeah, they're not very commonplace. Kalau ada, I always
especially with like boys, right? There's like 4 boys.
Yeah, I always internalize that kalau ada leftovers, it was intentional because we're having that for the next meal, so you can't touch it.
Okay. In the family house, I remember I always do this check, like I would ask people, so semua orang nak makan? And
you ask that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even if it's like it was made for everyone, and I'm just the guy who was invited to eat, and I see everybody I know everybody in the house is washing their plates. They're all done. I still check, did everybody eat this already? Because I know this because it's a mistake I've made when I was a kid, which was to eat something that was in the fridge unguarded, and I'm like, well, ha, and I ate it.
Opportunity.
Opportunity, and I ate it, and I know it was a cup, it was a small cup of Sprite, and I'm like, it was odd to have like half a cup of Sprite in the fridge, So I thought maybe somebody spilled it, and then they're like, after wiping the Sprite and on the floor and cleaning it, they don't feel like Sprite anymore. They feel like they don't deserve Sprite.
Yeah.
And then they put it in the fridge until they feel better about themselves. So I'm like, well, there's an innocent cup of Sprite here, nobody in the house, and I drank it. And then later in the day, I found out that the mother has been keeping it for my baby brother. And I'm like, when I heard that, I'm like, oh man, this is bad, huh? Because I took something from my baby brother, and it's half a cup of Sprite. But then I'm like, it's half a cup of Sprite. I can go get it. I can go get a new can with the money I have from school, and it's not even, it's not gonna be. Nobody is gonna have to take out a loan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like why? But you still feel bad.
Yeah.
So that and other incidents of me doing nonsense has taught me that, okay, all right, I'm not gonna touch any leftovers in the house while I was in the house in the family house. But now, since I don't really live there anymore, whenever I go there and there's leftovers, I eat it without warning, because it's leftovers. Because I'm like, it's always like dry and weird, and it's often stuff that I can see, like like somebody says, hey Mus, there's a chicken salad in the fridge, and I go and I open the box and there's no chicken, it's just cabbage in there. So I know what that means. That means some picky eater picked out all the chicken, and there's no chance this person is gonna save the wilted vegetables for later. Nah. So I take that, and then I take that and I fry it with some rice, and then I have a nice little leftover meal.
So that change in like approach to eating stuff in the kitchen happened for you when you moved out lah?
As in, now I look at leftovers and eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once I move out and I started cooking for myself, I've accepted, even if I just have one roommate, which is my brother, I have accepted that whatever is in the fridge, it doesn't belong to me anymore, because the fridge is, I didn't buy the fridge, and my brother lives here and he pays for his share of the groceries, as in whenever he gets groceries he pays for everything, when I get groceries I pay for everything, and we selangseling buy groceries, so we eat whatever's in there, and I can't get mad if things go missing, because he pays for some of it, and he can't get mad if I eat his stuff because I pay for some of it. So it's a more democratic use of the fridge. I guess the only time I get weird is when I see him making questionable decisions with the items. Like very recently, last night, he made a thing for himself. My brother is a culinary student, so he likes to experiment with food. So he made these pancakes, which I assume were good because he finished them, and as in he made like a double batch, and he set some aside, but I already made food for myself, so he set some aside on the table, like as a signal for me to eat it also, but then he finished it himself. So I assume it was good, but in the middle of him eating it, he took a tube of tomato paste that I have in the kitchen and then squirted it into his bowl. And I'm like, all right, yeah, right. You're also reacting the correct way, which is, what are you doing? There's tomato sauce. We have tomato sauce, but he took tomato paste specifically, a fresh one, and he cracked it open and he put it in there. And I didn't say anything. I just looked at him and all right, because this is the same brother who, like a week ago, I think he made Maggi tom yum, and then he grated Parmesan cheese into it. And for the listener, Parmesan, when you buy it as a block, it is very expensive because it has to be from the Reggiano area of Italy or whatever it is. So I got it for my birthday, and it's what is it? It's like 50 ringgit for like a chunk that is like a, how big is this? It's like a pencil box kind of size. So he was grating it into his Maggi tom yum, which is a mistake that that is happening on a few levels. You know what I mean? You're disrespecting the cheese, one, and you're disrespecting tom yum, two, and you're grating my Parmesan cheese onto a tom yum soup, which you will never do again. My hand to God, you will never do this mistake again. But he did it, so I'm like, all right. So I can't say anything, because you know what I mean. And the only thing I say is, hey, yo, just ask me next time you want to make this mistake, so I can record it, and you can lie to me about how good it is, because it's not.
It's not good at all. It wasn't worth it.
Yeah. So other than that, it's now it's a democratic use of the fridge, and now I'm thinking, if you have a household and there's only one, and everybody shares that one fridge, there should be like house rules for how to use the fridge that everybody's aware of. That way nobody, accidentally does anything. Because it's a resource. It's a place you put your resources in.
True.
So it's I imagine it's kind of same as if you have a communal wardrobe. If everybody has the same closet, and everybody somehow wears the same size. Do you do this with your brothers? You wear each other's clothes?
I don't wear their clothes. They wear mine.
Why is it like that?
I think because growing up, I was usually the biggest brother.
Is it by size?
Yeah, by size.
Okay.
So macam it didn't make sense for me to take their clothes because their clothes were small. And I couldn't fit them. I did try macam once or twice, I think, but they were always too small. Yeah, so I think that's why. And then macam by the time they grew up, they had grown up to my size and could wear my clothes rather comfortably. But I had my set of clothes already, and I'm like, yeah, these are my clothes. That'll wear my clothes. Why wear yours?
I don't. We don't wear each other's clothes in the family here. But I do know it's a sister thing to exchange clothes and like wear each other's scarves and stuff, or wear each other's accessories. I think because I don't know what it is. Is it the preening thing? I don't know. We wear each other's hoodies, I guess, sometimes. So yeah, so I imagine the fridge is like that. If everybody has the same closet, you gotta know what the rules are. Okay, these are mine. Maybe the rules are these are mine. Don't wear these. Or maybe the rules is if you want to wear this on this day, you tell me so I know how to plan my outfit / meal on another day. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah, man, you can learn a lot about what's in the fridge. Here's the thing that I'm gonna ask you that you're probably not gonna have the answer off the top of your head because this doesn't occupy a lot of space in your brain. But let's see if you can. Do you know what is a particular characteristic of the fridge in the house you're in right now? Like what kind of stuff in there that you're like, oh, I wouldn't have that in my fridge.
If the fridge was just my fridge.
Yeah, like you. Okay, so you live in a house with a fridge, and the family that uses the fridge is not your family, is your in-laws. So they're not like. Yeah, they may not make decisions like you. So is there anything in that fridge you look at and you go, whoa, okay, that's interesting.
Well, the right off the bat, the fridge itself is overflowing.
What do you mean overflowing? Can you close it?
You can close. Okay, we work out overflowing relative to my fridge, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, your fridge has nothing. It has like one spring onion on one shelf, one bun in another shelf. They're all on different shelves. I don't know why.
And one 5-month-old egg.
Yeah, the
vegetable
eggs
section.
making noises. The eggs beep beep. Oh, okay, is this okay? Yeah.
Chirp chirp, motherfucker. So relative to that, macam it's stocked lah. Macam it's full. Macam if I'm surprised when they have leftovers, I'm surprised anything can fit in there, but they find ways to fit stuff in there. So I think most of the stuff I wouldn't have. Yeah,
like
the only times I open it to get anything out of the fridge ialah if I want juice and or milk. Those are the only things. Everything else in there, it becomes a blur because it's so abundant. You know?
Wow, really?
I also take ice.
Right. Okay. As the taker of ice, do you make ice?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's good. Because that is a rule, the freezer rule, which is different from fridge rules that I feel the house should have. Because if you take ice, you should also make ice.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean,
right.
What are we, savages?
That seems to make sense.
Yeah.
But some people, I'm not gonna be passive aggressive and yell so he hears, but I barely use the ice in the thing because I don't really I guess I'm not really in the lifestyle where I use a lot of ice right now. So read into that what you will.
Yeah, I don't typically take ice. It's only macam within the past week or so I started taking ice because I started missing Teo Ice Mama. I really macam I miss going to the mama and ordering Teo Ice, so I'm gonna make myself Teo Ice. And I've made it twice in the past week.
Did that soothe your rindu for Teo Ice Mama?
Sikit. It's not quite there, but you know, it's something. It's
wow. I think I would never think to say I miss Teo Ice at the Mama because I don't miss any of the thing in the Mama, except the roti canai. I cannot make that at home, so that I miss. Any kind of roti I miss, especially like really good roti.
Yeah.
Like they're flaky hot and then it's like stretchy still really nice.
Yeah.
I think if I miss the drink in the mama, what I miss is the sensual memory of the glass. Like the glass is heavy. And the clinking of the ice.
Yeah.
And then if you bring it to your lips to drink, you may taste like air gula on the outside of the glass.
Yeah.
Because however sloppy they make it, then you put it down and the glass sweats, and then you're sitting there and you're waiting for the other members of the improv group to arrive.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe what I miss about it is what it kind of symbolizes. Macam,
For sure.
I
For
only
sure.
order. I've never made teh ice at home. This is
Right.
this is a never thing. I never make teh ice at home. And then tiba-tiba last week, that became a thing because I don't think I miss teh ice per se. I miss what it meant. Having teh ice meant I was out and I'm gonna meet friends and I'm gonna have a good time or whatever.
Yeah, you're gonna have to sit down and listen to Farid's story about him jamming.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. Or yeah. Right, Farid telling you about an incident that happens when he was shooting a movie that we're not gonna see.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Exactly. Macam,
shout out to Farid Azmi.
Shout out.
Yeah, for sure. Yo, a sense memory that happened recently to me. There's two things. One, I woke up early in the morning and this sensation of, I think because the temperature in particular in the morning, it was cool, and it was, I don't know what about it, but I have this thing of if I wake up in the morning and I hear conversation by other people in the house, and I wake up and it's cool and it's like sahur time and I hear conversation, that to me, like, to my brain signals that this is late Ramadan and I'm in my Singapore cousin's house.
Oh.
And I'm sleepily getting awake to have some sahur. So when I wake up early and I hear people's conversations, I'm like, oh yeah, this is comforting. This has some comfort. The other thing that the sense memory that happened to me a couple of days ago was kicap manis, kicap kipas udang, sweet soy sauce on hot rice. Like, yeah, I was gonna tweet it, but like, oh, this is a little unwieldy. But so the tweet was gonna go, air katira tastes like Ramadan, rendang tastes like Raya, but kicap on hot rice tastes like your mom is overtime at work and your dad is on a trip, and then you're just supposed to figure out your buka puasa during Zohor time because this is the first time you buka puasa and that's the only food you can make for yourself. Because that was a very specific memory. I ate that and I'm like, whoa, I'm 7 or 8 and I'm patiently in front of the TV for Zohor time. And as a Zohor, I'm like, yeah, buka puasa. And I remember eating this and I go, yeah, I remember eating this. And I go, is this correct? I'm the only one doing this.
How'd you get the rice? Did
no,
you make
the rice
it?
was made. No, it was made already. So
I
like
see.
the parents are at work,
Yeah.
and I just got back from school, and I'm like looking at the TV. I'm like, I'm better than my friends because I remember at school there were a bunch of people who just didn't puasa during the hard. They just eat food they bought from home or whatever. And I remember thinking I shouldn't be doing this. The holdover of the what became my toughest years and what I still kind of have with my thing of practicing. So yeah, at the time I'm like, yeah. And then I remember thinking, this is not correct. This is not how you do it. How can you just do half of something? If I could just do half of something, that means I can just pray like 2 times a day, and then I'll pick the rest up when I feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is not how you should do it. Yeah, so kicap on rice has that memory for me. It's
Yeah, ketchup on rice was a much more common thing, I guess, in my house.
yeah.
Yeah, it was macam ketchup on rice with telur and some sort of protein, either ayam atau ikan goreng. That was very normal. It was
Yeah. Same.
It was like for half a month that's what we would eat.
Yeah.
And macam, and now that I kind of I'm in my in-laws' house, right?
Yeah.
And they are very comfortable with eating rice dry. So macam
Yo.
kalau tak ada kuah tak apa. Macam
What do they eat it with though?
what?
What do they eat it with? Rice and stuff, right? They're not just eating rice.
Rice and stuff.
Okay.
Tapi tak berapa nak berkuah. You know, kuah is not
so like just
something
so like
that
rice
is utama.
and then rice and then ikan goreng.
Rice, ikan bakar, maybe ada sambal on the ikan, but
Okay.
ikan
But
goreng
dry.
sambal, but it's not berkuah punya sambal lah. It's very dry
Okay,
kuah.
it's dry sambal.
Dry sambal, and they just eat it like that, and it's very different from what I grew up being very accustomed to, which is kena
Kicap.
ada kuah. And
Right.
kicap was that kuah for a lot of time. So macam
But-
when the dry meals come, I go to the kitchen and I take my kicap. I'm the only one
Yeah.
eating the kicap, and
Yeah.
and I would notice macam get receiving funny looks. Macam what's this person doing?
Look at Kicap boy over here.
Exactly, but it
Look at
was
this dude.
Yeah.
250k on Twitter. Suddenly he thinks he needs Kicap. Amazing. This celebrity guy with a Kicap on every meal. Look at him. Oh,
Every meal.
he's look at this guy again with the Kicap. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's so normal for me that not having it seems weird, or not having kuah lah, you know, not having kuah on the
Yeah.
and bila
So-
tak ada kuah, it's kicap. It's always kicap.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm astounded that I have to go to the kitchen to get it, and I'm the only one who
Why are you
needs it.
astounded?
Because it's
Oh, it's not on the table.
Yeah, it's not on the table. It's so out of my norm because it's usually there.
Yeah lah. You guys don't eat in the kitchen, can? You guys
No,
eat.
it's a dining table. Yeah,
Okay, so there's a bit of a walk,
yeah, a bit of a walk.
can. So everybody's there, and okay. So how long have you been eating as a family with this group?
Oh, months.
Months, right? And
Yeah.
and until now, they don't put the kicap on the table,
No.
right? They're like, yeah, watch him. Listen, look, all the like the family is like dry. Guys, look at kicap boy, get a kicap. And then you and get the kicap. And when you do get the kicap, that's the only time they have to themselves to like talk about stuff they don't want you to hear.
Talk about the kicap boy. Yeah, I yeah. I truly don't think that they intend any bad feelings.
Oh, for sure, no.
about it.
I mean, you know,
But,
yeah.
But it's just it's weird to me, and I'm sure it's weird to them also that I do this.
Yeah. But nobody brings it up, I imagine.
Oh no.
Yeah, nobody talks about kicap politics on the table
No.
because it can get divisive. Apa ni? And it's kicap manis kan?
Yeah, kicap manis.
Yeah. So when you say kuah, I'm now imagining how much. I'm concerned a bit how much kicap you put.
I don't know how much kicap you put, but for me, it doesn't need. It's not banjir. It's
Okay.
making
So there's
sure
there's no puddle of kicap, right?
there's usually no puddle of kicap.
Okay, right.
Unless the kicap is macam ayam masak kicap or something,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I
that's- that-
cedok
yeah.
cedok the kuah until
Yeah,
it kind
look
of
at kicap boy
pulls.
here. Take extra kicap. Look later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you like that. Apa- okay, yeah. So I am the same. Up until when I grew up, when I was a kid, every rice thing I would put ketchup on it. So much so that I remember this very vividly. My first nasi lemak that I was given when I was I think 5, I was given nasi lemak for the first time in a daun pisang, and I remember in my head it was a big deal. Maybe it wasn't, but one of the parents were like, "Here you go, this is nasi lemak," and my first thing was, "Great, it's rice. Let's go. Let's put ketchup on this."
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And I put it in, I ate it, and it was fine. But I sort of half understood that maybe this is wrong. because I got like looks and little giggles. Because okay, I'll try it without it next time. So since then I don't do it like that. But eating rice career, I would put ketchup a lot until I started traveling more often. Yeah. The more often I travel, and the more often my dad traveled, he stopped eating rice regularly, so he would eat all these other things, and I would get used to being in places where sweet ketchup is not readily available. So at the time, it's not like me being polite to the guests. It's just me being too scared of confrontation ask for soy sauce. So I'm like, I will respect your culture by eating this, but it's more macam I'm scared to talk to you. You were grown up, and you know you're 8 times as large as I am. I'm just gonna eat this quietly and not cause a fuss. So from doing that a lot and like getting really big into food, I have stopped eating a lot of ketchup. Very rarely. I would make sambal ketchup and I would use that like as an ingredient or like as an augment sometimes. But if I don't have it, I'm fine. Like I use it as a sweet plus savory sort of ingredient if I'm making a large soup or what. Sometimes put a little ketchup to have like a little toasty notes to it. So yeah, I don't. But you're right though. I don't eat rice dry. I would need like a sambal in it. Like right now, I have a cache of sambal tumis that I made, and that has been the thing that I alter my dry rice with. So yeah, ketchup boy gonna ketchup, huh?
Ketchup boy gonna ketchup. The soy boy gonna soy.
Soy boy gonna soy sauce. Right. So do you are you particularly? I don't imagine you are, but do you know what brand of ketchup the family uses?
The family right now it's on Jalin. Yeah. Which is not my brand of choice. Mine is always
wow. So you can taste the difference.
Oh, for sure, man. I grew.
Okay, see, you're way more into ketchup than I am. I'm excited to hear this. No, I'm very excited. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've always been consistently very loyal to kipas udang.
Yo, my boy, I'm also kipas udang.
Yeah, and there was a macam, and I thought this was a normal thing because when I was studying in Sydney, there would be Malaysians just pushing kipas udang.
Yeah,
that was their business, and they I don't know how they stocked it, but they stocked it and they sold it to other Malaysian people. And
wait, they stopped. What do you mean? Who are they? And they stopped what?
So Malaysian students, they somehow borong kicap udang.
Oh, stock. Sorry, I thought you said stop.
No.
Okay, stock. Okay.
So they borong kipas udang, and they would sell it to various other Malaysian students. And at the Asian market dekat our nearby mall pun ada tapi limited. Limited. They restock the kicap on Wednesdays, and if you don't go on Wednesday, it's not going to be there for 6 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was
Can you describe
highly
the quality. Sorry, go on.
It was highly sought after. The quality was the same. It tasted the same.
Okay.
I liked it.
As in you're saying Australia kipas udang tastes the same as Malaysia kipas udang.
Malaysian kipas udang. Yes,
okay,
I think they fly it in. I don't know.
Nice.
But yeah, it was macam I lived in a house with like 9 people. So macam every week there'd be a different person cooking. I'd cook on one of the days, and I only had 3 dishes that I would cook. And one of my more favorite things to cook, because I knew it so well, because I did it, very often, ialah ayam masak kicap with stir fry sayur.
Yeah.
So macam you have to have the kipas udang.
Yeah.
So macam
for both dishes.
So for when transitioning to Jalin over here, it's definitely less than, in my opinion.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not,
what is it? What is it about Jalin? Tell me.
it's more pekat. It's macam it's more thick. And
Is it a texture thing or the taste?
it's both. It's texture and taste.
Okay.
It's not the same, and I feel like it's inferior. But after eating it so many times, I have learned to live with it lah. Macam it's okay now. But of course,
is it like the one that looks kind of macam it can almost be macam ketchup?
yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, that takes some adjustment.
Yeah.
To understand how to maneuver around.
Yeah. So, but if you put any other brand of kicap in front of me and there's a kipas udang there, I'm definitely taking the kipas udang. Yeah.
Yeah.
No questions about it.
Yeah. My worry about my love of kipas udang is that it's purely tradition. Like I remember living in my arwah house when I was 5. The same time I put kicap on my nasi lemak. That was I remember eating a thing and then asking for kicap and then being shown where the dapur of the neighbor is, and I go in and then there's this bottle of, it's like when there's a bunch of soy sauce drippings all over the bottle, and it's like gunky, and it looks like it was pulled from a treasure chest. From under the sea, like there's there's barnacles on it, and like here be the soy sauce, and then I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I don't care what this looks like, put it on my rice because this is great. Yeah. So I my concern is that I never examined why this was my favorite brand. I'm excited to maybe discover other brands that might be good for me. Here's the thing about getting to know more about food. I'm aware that there's light soy sauce, there's dark soy sauce, the both of the Kikoman variety, and then the sweet soy sauce is what we use, and then there's the thick kicap that that the Indonesians use, and then there's the Jalin style which you use, and it's all a different. It's a whole world of soy sauce that I'm like, oof, it's a whole adventure.
It's a whole adventure, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I respect your need for soy sauce, and I understand it.
Yeah.
And,
it's definitely anchored in tradition as well. Macam, I acquired the taste very young, consistently. It was what was familiar to me and continues to be familiar to me. So, macam, I don't think I can.
Do you remember the first time you ate kicap masin, thinking it was kicap manis?
I don't remember the first time specifically, but I do remember thinking macam, what the fuck? I have been betrayed. What is
Why
this?
Why did you do this to me?
Can I think it could have even been, a sushi place or something.
Possibly, right? Okay.
It was possible, or it could have been macam I just bought macam I saw the kipas udang, and I just took it.
But you did neglected to notice the udang was green.
Yeah, I didn't notice the udang was green. So I ate it. It was like, what is this? And then I looked at the bottle and macam, oh, masin. So what have I been eating selama ini? And then I looked at the red one, macam manis. Oh, I see. Ada masin dan manis.
Yeah. Who would make this?
Who would make this?
Who is this for? This is poison.
Who does this help? who asked for this? What universe have I entered where this is something people invented?
Yeah, I still see kicap masin as an ingredient rather than a thing I would use as a condiment sincerely,
Yes. It's definitely an ingredient, more of an ingredient. It's like cooking chocolate. It's not really chocolate, but it's also kind of chocolate.
All right. I mean, we can get into chocolate in another episode because that's a whole different thing we can have a fight about.
All right.
But to steer back to the soy sauce, the first time I had salty soy sauce was I would eat telur setengah masak at home. It was one of the things I would eat a lot at home because you remember those plastic devices that they used to make telur setengah masak. It looks like a cake thing. Is it?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
introduced to that contraption. It's usually yellow, isn't it?
It has different colors, but yeah, yellow is one of the colors that comes in.
Yeah, I was introduced to that very late lah. Macam probably in my early to mid 20s probably. I was introduced to that contraption. Sebelum tu, I only saw telur separuh masak when I spent the night dekat asrama for a rugby tournament, and they didn't cook it in front of us. The telur was already there.
I would ask for that in the house, and it was one of the things that that was made for me a lot, because the contraption makes it really easy. You just pour the water and then you leave it alone, and then you end up with telur setengah masak. And the way I eat it at home is with kicap manis lah. Which at the time, that's the only kind of kicap I know. So fast forward, I was in the mamak with my dad, and he was like, "Hey, you like telur setengah masak? You can order from here." Okay, cool. And I ordered it, and then he gave me this like pepper and kicap thing that was on the table. I'm like, oh right, kicap, of course, genius. And I pour as much as I understand kicap manis should be.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what that amount is, and then I put it on the eggs, and then I'm like, this is gonna be great start to the day. And then I put it in my mouth. I'm like, why did nobody stop me from having this happen? I'm still at the age where my teh tarik has to be poured into a piring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did nobody stop me? You were right there. It's just the two of us here. What is in your mind? Can somebody be responsible? Sir.
But the telur separuh masak punya kicap, I've developed a taste for it lah. Macam now telur separuh masak isn't really complete without kicap masin. I can't even imagine having it with kicap manis. It's so far away. The association is so different.
Yeah, I don't use kicap anymore. Kicap masin like that anymore as much. But I do understand it. I remember being that in that level of kinship with kicap. So now if I order telur setengah masak, I just put whatever pepper and salt on it.
Yeah.
And just slurp it from the piring like a savage. Yeah. Well, so that's this episode where we talked about the fridge a lot, ingredients, and a long ass thing about soy sauce.
Yeah. Man, I am very enthusiastic about soy sauce. I didn't know this about myself. Thank you.
You're very what about soy sauce?
Enthusiastic about soy sauce.
Oh yeah.
This is like legitimately the first conversation I've had about soy sauce that went this in depth. Padahal, I would have had opportunities to talk about soy sauce in Sydney when, it was a scarce thing. And when it's there, it's a cause for celebration. Tapi nobody really gave a shit. And I thought macam it was such a normal thing that, you should
to hooray at the soy sauce.
Yeah. I thought it was such a normal thing. But now that I've lived a little bit more life, I know that
now that you live with a bunch of strangers, a bunch of dry rice eating. Who are these people? Eating rice dry? Amazing.
Yeah. So now that I have that context, I have come to macam appreciate this side of my life a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah. Food is a lot. Food is more than food. It's a symbol for where we come from and what we like and who we are. Yeah. So with that, we come to another wrap-up conclusion of this episode of Mental Pecah. I hope I didn't make y'all too hungry. If I did,
listen
then,
at night.
What?
Listen at night.
I mean, or be a better Muslim.
That.
How do you lose to kicap? It's the ingredient. It's not even food. Okay.
It's a condiment.
I'm not angry at you guys. I understand. Just I'll put it in the disclaimer. Content warning. Kicap.
And
so y'all don't. Yeah.
F puasa.
Yeah, so y'all don't get your panties in a twist. All right. Thank you for still listening. I love you. I love you. Thank you, Anwar, for joining us once again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I hope you all stay safe. Have a good day. Be kind to one another and love each other.